But we be seen making no honey. We ain't getting no money. So we want to know who the bees working for, who getting all the honey, and who making all of the money. If you got bees, who ain't making no honey, who ain't getting no money. What you gonna do but smoke them out, 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 smoke them out. Then honey, where is the queen bee? She's still flying all over the place on expensive private jets, using taxpayers' money. She ain't care, cause the I can make honey. If she in there, she forget that we hire she to make honey, so that we could make money. We want to know what the workers doing. If we have no honey, we started a fire to smoke them out and not getting attacked by stinging bees who are disguised as honey bees. So we want to know who the bees working for, who getting all the honey, and who making all of the money. Yeah. Jump in on me, jump in on me, jump, wait, jump in on me. Jump in on the honey. Jump, quiet. Jump in on it. Jump in on the honey. Jump in on it. Jump in on my neighbor. Jump, poor man like me. Jump. Got these same problems, but we were keeping honeybees. We be seen making no honey. We ain't getting no money. So we want to know who the bees working for, who getting all the honey, and who making all of the money. If you got bees who ain't making no honey, you ain't making no money. What you gonna do but smoke them out, 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 smoke them out. So then only, where is the queen bee? She's still flying all over the place on expensive private jets, using taxpayers' money. She ain't care, cause the I can make honey. If she in there, she forget that we hire she to make honey, so that we could make money. We want to know what the workers doing. If we hive up no honey, we started a fire to smoke them out and now getting attacked by stinging bees who are disguised as honey bees. So we want to know who the bees working for, who getting all the honey, and who making all of the money. Yeah. March, we are march. Cause we are marching on to progress. Time come sound the alarm, and we don't care what the BLP say or what they say we are. And we need to fight the BLP and to set Barbados free. We are blood, fire, comrades, and we march into victory. Everything them pop down, we are go build back. We are go build back better than before. Everything them take away, we are go bring back. We are be set it right and restore. Time come ease up the pressure, cause Barbados can't take no more. We are stepping out of darkness into the light and kick down corruption. We are marching on to progress. Time comes sound the alarm, and we don't care what the BLP say or what they say we are. And we need to fight the BLP and set Barbados free. We are blood, fire, comrades, and we marching to victory. Everything them pop down, we are go build back. We are go build back better than before. Everything them take away, we are go bring back. We are be set it right and restore. Time come ease off the pressure, cause Barbados can't take no more. We are stepping out of darkness into the light and kick down corruption door. Dig it down, dig it down, dig it down, dig it down, dig it down. March free, man, dig it down, 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 dig it down. March free, man. Hey, 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 hey. March free, march. Hey, 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 hey. March free, march. Marching on to progress. Time comes sound the alarm, and we don't care what the BLP say or what they say we are. And we need to fight the BNP and set Barbados free. We are blood, fire, comrades, and we march into victory. Hey, hey, hey. march, we a march, 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 we a march, 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 we a march, 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 we a march, march, march. We are marching on to progress time. Come sound the alarm, and we don't care what the BLP say or what they say we are. And we need to fight the BLP and set Barbados free. We are blood, fire comrades, and we march into victory.
If Dr. Ralph Gonsalves is able to retain office, and he will become the longest serving prime minister continuously for the Caribbean, with 6 terms already. At 5, he's in record territory. If Dr. Goodwin Friday is able to unseat him, then you have a situation where he would have unseated the longest serving prime minister in the Caribbean. So it will be historic. The lay of the land on the ground is an interesting one. There are 15 seats in the parliament. The current majority that Dr. Gonsalves holds is 2. This is up from the one he held in the previous election. But he has a large number of seats, about 5 or 6 seats, which are very, very marginal. And I think that's really going to be the focus in the election tomorrow. How can those marginal seats be managed, and who will win them ultimately? So it's on a knife's edge, I would say. It's a close election. It has the potential to go either way. We will watch with great interest tomorrow as the votes are counted.
And that is how we end our special election coverage.
Pray silent, ladies and gentlemen, Her Excellency, Governor General of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Her Excellency, Dame Susan Duggan, Governor General of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Dr. Godwin Friday, Mrs. Friday and family, Mr. Arnim Eustace, former Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Mr. Geoff Patton, Resident British Commissioner, Mr. Enville Williams, Commissioner of Police, members of the New Democratic Party, senior public officials, specially invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, members of the media, good evening. Welcome to Government House. It is my distinct honor to welcome you to this Government House and to the swearing-in ceremony of Dr. Godwin Elliott Lorraine Friday as Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I will now invite Dr. Godwin Friday to swear his oath of secrecy, his oath of allegiance, and oath of office to familiarize his appointment as Prime Minister.
The oath of allegiance. I, Godwin Elliott Lorraine Friday, do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, that I will uphold and defend the Constitution and the laws of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and I will conscientiously and impartially discharge my responsibilities to the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So help me God. Oath of office. I, Godwin Elliott Lorraine Friday, do swear that I will well and truly serve the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines in the office of Prime Minister. So help me God. The oath of secrecy. I, Godwin Elliott Lorraine Friday, being elected Prime Minister, do swear that I will not on any account or at any time disclose the counsel, advice, opinion, or vote of any particular minister, and that I will not accept with the authority of the Cabinet, and to such extent that may be required for the good management of the affairs of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, directly or indirectly reveal the business or proceedings of the Cabinet or the nature or content of any document communicated to me as Prime Minister, or any matter coming to my knowledge in that capacity. So help me God.
Thank you, the Honorable Prime Minister. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my esteemed pleasure to invite Her Excellency, the Governor General of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Dame Susan Duggan, to give remarks. Her Excellency.
Dr. the Honorable Godwin Friday, Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And Mrs. Friday. Mr. Arnhem Eustace, former Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Mr. Geoff Patton, Resident British Commissioner. Mr. Anvil Williams, Commissioner of Police, members of the New Democratic Party, senior public officials, specially invited guests, members of the media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Welcome to Government House, all of you. And it is an honor to congratulate Dr. the Honorable Godwin Friday, whom the people have chosen to lead St. Vincent and the Grenadines for the next 5 years. You have been a leader of the opposition for many years, and the people have now rewarded you for your many years as an opposition leader. They have shown that they have confidence in you. Today, I am saying to you the same thing that I said to the former Prime Minister in 2020. You are the Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. You are going to be here for all Vincentians. Let us have an inclusive society and a progressive. I wish you abundant success. And I pray that God will help you to manage St. Vincent and the Grenadines, this nation, in turbulent times, because the world out there is very turbulent, and you will need all the support you can get from other members of the party, from the general public, and from all well-wishers. So congratulations to you. I must thank former Prime Minister Dr. Gonsalves for his outstanding contribution for the last 25 years. 25 years as Prime Minister is a very long time. And I am sure there has been a lot done in that period. And we're hoping that we can build on some of those areas, some of the strengths that would have been put in place as a foundation. I also wish him the very best in his endeavors. I would like to applaud the supervisor of elections, Mrs. Dora James and her team. They have worked tirelessly to guide our democratic process through the many stages. It was not easy. It was a testing experience, and I think they have done wonderfully well, despite all of the challenges. To the Commissioner of Police and members of the Constabulary, I wish to thank you for a job well done. You have worked assiduously with your team to ensure the elections went peacefully and that there was stability in our country. I thank you from the bottom of my heart, Commissioner. Now, I am not here to really make speeches. I am waiting to hear from the new Prime Minister, so I pray God's blessing on the proceedings and his guidance throughout the next 5 years. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Ladies and gentlemen, the Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Dr. the Honorable Godwin Elliott Lorraine Friday. The Honorable Prime Minister will now bring his remarks.
Your Excellency, Governor General Dame Susan Duggan, my colleague and friend, the Honorable Anna Eustace, I'm so happy that you could be here with us today. Jeff Patton, the resident British Commissioner of Police, Mr. Enville Williams, members of the New Democratic Party, my colleagues and friends, senior public officials, specially invited guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I am humbled by the trust and the honor that has been given to me to serve in the capacity of Prime Minister of this country. I intend to do my duty, as Her Excellency has said, as a Prime Minister for all the people of this country. It is my duty to do what I can to uplift living standards, moral values, hopes and expectations of our people, to enable each and everyone to dream and aspire to a better life in this country, and to not be prevented or obstructed from doing so by partisan politics, by unnecessary interference, so that they may be able to achieve their very best for themselves, their family, and for our country. For that is the only way that we are going to go forward. I wish to thank Almighty God for the strength and courage that He has instilled within me, and for answering my prayers when there were times, and there will be times, when the challenge seemed too great. I always remember that in such times and in others when we have joy and pleasure, that we take it to the Lord in prayer. I intend to do so as Prime Minister as well. As we go forward, we have to embrace one another as fellow Vincentians. We are a country of less than 110,000 people. I consider that precious, not small. And so we have to pool our resources, our intellect, all that we have, to ensure not just for us as individuals and for our own families, but for those around us, that we can uplift one another. It does us no good as a people for some to be thriving while others are struggling, and to pass it off as somehow just fate. We can do something about it to ensure that we all do better. I intend to call upon that spirit within our people, because I know it exists, it resides there, so that we can all work for the common good and to make this place the truly blessed land that it is. I know the challenges are great. I spoke about a lot of them on the campaign trail. We have put forward plans to deal with the most serious ones. I understand the challenges of office and the changes that take place from time to time, but we will remain adaptable, open ears to those who have solutions that might be better than the ones that we have put forward, and to listen and to embrace. Because ultimately what I want to do is to succeed, not just for myself and for my colleagues, but most importantly, for the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I want to thank my family. My wife, Ave, small in stature, but I tell you, a tower of strength. And for my children, Nicholas and Christian, who have been there, offering critical advice when necessary, but always believing in their father and always wishing to see me succeed. I'm going to rely on them more as we go forward. And to my colleagues, we have been together for many, many years, some of us. We have done our duty in the best way we saw fit. The people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, I believe, appreciated the service that we provided in opposition, and have come to the point now where they have said, we would like you to try a different office where we can be more instrumental in bringing the changes that we have advocated for in opposition. I relish that opportunity, and my colleagues, I know they can't wait to get started. I want to thank as well the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I want to thank for the tremendous confidence that you have placed in us with such a resounding victory yesterday at the polls. It signaled to me that the people are ready for change that makes a difference in their lives. Not incremental, but major changes, transformational changes. We campaigned on that during the long cycle of the election campaign, and we intend to work with every sinew in our body to make that happen. We can't do it by ourselves, not myself and all my colleagues in the cabinet. We must rely on all of the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And I know that from my conversations going around all over the country, that people are willing and ready to do so once the leadership is there to invite their participation, to welcome and to value their contribution. I intend to do that, and I think That in itself will generate tremendous benefit to the people of this country. So before we proceed next week, where I will announce the members of my cabinet and other senior officials, I want us all, during the time before we get to that point, to consider individually how we can also contribute more in our communities, in the places where we work, giving each other the benefit of the doubt, always lending a helping hand rather than trying to take an advantage. It works better that way. It generates better results that way. We know it, so we just simply have to embrace it and do it, and I urge you to do so. And of course, next week, my cabinet colleagues will join me, and we set fully to work, implementing what we have set out to the people of this country and more. We ask you to be willing partners in this. And I believe that there are brighter days ahead for this country. I say in the campaign, and I say it again, there's a new dawn happening in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And the people said that loud and clear. And it is one that will bring, ushering greater prosperity, peace and security in our communities, hope and expectations in our young people, that they can have fulfilling lives here, a society that cares for the vulnerable, that values every child, every human being, and at the same time, recognizing our limitations. We know that we are a poor country, but we can do a lot more with what we have than we are doing currently. And I urge us all to work to that end. Mr. Eustace, we made it. And I thank you so much for the example that you set for us in opposition and when you were the leader of our great party. God continue to bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. the Honorable Prime Minister. Ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the end of today's swearing-in ceremony. Thank you for being with us, and do enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you.
Hear me now. If I Aaron Barrow could talk today, I got something to say. Why? Raise your flag, but open your eyes. If I Aaron Barrow had to speak today, what I see would break my heart away. Nothing changed, just a mirror frame, same corruption, just a brand new name. My people, I'm sad to say, you reaping all you sow today. The pride and industry fade away, and now we fighting to find we way. Yeah. Life at two extremes, I tell you so. Hope and hunger, high and low. Poverty mixing with champagne flow, but poor man still can't grow. suffering and celebrating, starving while them still partaking. Nations rise, time to break that spell. Stop showing contempt for yourself. For yourself, for yourself. Back in 80s, I had to say you can't change when thieves lead the way. Corruption sweet when give us pay, and government take what poor man lay. Taxation high like mountain peak, while schools and roads still spring a leak. Them flying high, them living sleek, but poor man vice still 2 weeks. So tell me now, who you blaming? Who make the system shaming? Them raise the dead, destroy the cane. No migration is the pain. You believe us like the clay, and now we are playing God today. Talking sweet but turn away from the people who make she laugh, she bend and smile she wear like she care, but she can't share. You think she love, you think she fair, or she trying to run you from here? Everyone watching from up above. Virgins where the unity and love we used to build, we used to fight. Now we just beg and say alright. Let we rise again, take back pride, build Barbados from inside. And Aaron, gone back to sleep again. Aaron, but I pray next time I wake, my people will rise, rise, I say. Bim Shar still alive. Boy, you sell it. Boy, you sell it. Bims are still alive. Oh, we just need to revive. Oh, Bims are still alive. Oh, we just need to revive. Oh.
Glen.
What's it called? Tell me.
Glen.
We're at Glen Community Center, and this is in a labor. They say labor ULP Gonzales Stronghold, and we're trying to see if we can find anybody to speak to here. I was told where I was before in Sion Hill was NDP Stronghold, right? So we're now here at St. Vincent and the Grenadines Community College. Right, so that's where we're at right now. And community college looks really nice. So let me go outside. Okay, and see if there's anybody that I could speak to. Okay, sorry.
You didn't just sit, right?
No, I didn't. Okay. This is it here. I'm not seeing anybody. Let me go and talk to that lady sitting there. It's very quiet out here, probably just organized, and people are inside. So I'm going to just go, and this is the St. Vincent and Grenadines Community College. This is a beautiful space. Very nice, actually. I really like it. Really, really like it. So this is it here. Right. St. Vincent and the Grenadines Community College, funded by the European Union and the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And it's a beautiful building. Really, really beautiful. Here. And I'm just going to try and talk to somebody. I'm not seeing anybody here voting at the moment. Yeah. Hello, ma'am. The camera's not on you. Good morning.
Good morning.
I am great. I'm great. You can see that it's quiet.
Good morning, how are you? Okay, do you know which line you have to join?
First one.
So your surname, you can give me your surname. Okay, so you're gonna take your, go down and take your right and just join the line, the first line.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So you've been here like early morning or like 5? What? I just said 5, by chance. I just said 5. 5 o'clock. And what time you finish?
Well, whenever it's finished. Whenever the ballot box is going, I have to do it.
And then somebody, you have people that change out with you.
Hi, good morning. How are you? Okay, so you're going to the end. You're going to take the right. Right? You're going down.
So, folks, I can't show the people as they're coming in, but the rain is coming down, but they are coming into the polling station. And this is a ULP stronghold because we wanted to make sure. That means you voted already? You voted already? Okay. Yeah, how was the process? Can you talk to us about the process?
I find this easy.
Yeah, it seemed very organized. Can you talk to us about it? Seems organized. What's the name of this? This is very. It seems so.
Yeah, this one is organized.
Organized.
Some people
Waiting on you. Oh, okay, all right, no problem. All right, so this is wonderful. What's the name of this constituency? Repeat.
East St. George.
East St. George. East St. George. Okay, all right. And I won't be able to go down in there to look at the line.
You cannot go down there and lower.
Lines. Okay, understood. I understand. I'm still asking. All right. So all the very best, and it's nice. Looks nice. Yes. Okay. All right.
Yes.
Oh, I wanted to ask you, what in terms of the numbers? How do you see the numbers? Is it like normal? Do you see like in Barbados, what happens a lot over the last 2 elections? We've seen a low voter turnout because there's a voter apathy. So I'm just checking to see how is that here. I know, but I'm just saying that so far,
it's okay so far.
It's okay.
Yes, but then people come on.
Then you will know the rush time.
That's when everybody come home.
Yes.
So they find the polls to run through.
Right. Understood. Okay. All right. Thank you. And yes, all the best. Wonderful. Yes, ma'am. And all the success. Yes. Hi, Gran. Hello. Hi, Gran. How was the voting process for you? Was good. Was easy, smooth. Very smooth. Excellent. That means it was well organized. Yes. All the very best. Yes. That was quite interesting. That was an interesting one. Isn't that different? That was very different. It's a rain there. I didn't get to speak to anybody because and it's deep down in the college and they seem very closed. They're not as open as the NDP people. I really noticed that since yesterday that they had not been as open. So what's happened, guys, is that we just went to ULP stronghold, all right? And the response was you didn't even see people. Just few people coming in, and it was interesting to say the least. Not, they didn't want to be on camera. As you saw there, it seems very organized. You don't really see anybody. Probably it's a neighborhood too. Yeah. It seemed like it's a more well-off neighborhood. This neighborhood, do you think?
Yeah.
So that might be. They seem very low-key. I wonder if they're worried.
Yeah, they're worried.
You think so? You laughing?
I think they're worried.
You think they're worrying? Oh wow, that was different. Yeah, that was different. That was really different. It's not the freedom that I saw on the streets yesterday or experienced this morning. And I asked her how the turnout was so far. She said okay. So I don't know. She said though that lunchtime, after lunch, she will see more people come after lunch. Right? Okay. So where you want us to go now?
Well, we're still in Glen.
In Glen, so you probably try one more?
Yeah.
Okay, and this is his stronghold?
Yeah.
Okay. So probably not so upscale one, and see what happens if the people will speak. Hi, hello everybody. Hello, hello. In SVG, and
You see the Prime Minister, and you see the representative coming road.
Right, so this is his son constituency.
Yeah,
so we're in Camilo's constituency, and my driver is telling me about the bad roads. Tell me more. Right, the roads are horrible.
Yeah.
You see how the car is shaking? So he's saying it's Camilo constituency. But but this was a constituency that won by about a little bit of votes the last time,
60 something.
60 something votes the last time, and you're hoping that it will flip.
Yeah, and then it flip. Yeah.
I'm sure Kamala is hoping this is the one that someone told me that they put a lot of foreigners in.
Yeah.
That's why the people there look that way. You get a lot of Indian, half white looking people. Oh, so well, I mean, the chances are great that they might vote for him because he would have given them, the citizenship.
Right.
So this is like citizen by investment. Oh, a lot of them live in this community. You put them in his son's community.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, you all heard that, folks? Citizenship by investment program. A lot of them are moved into this community here. And I know you told me the name of the community. Can you tell me again?
Glen.
In Glen. And this is Camilo.
Yeah.
Camilo Gonzalez. This is his constituency.
Some big road or some patrol.
My friend here you became a UDP, right?
Yeah.
So he is saying that the roads are bad here, but he's gonna be a little biased. Isn't that true?
Yeah, the road are bad.
The road's bad. Yes, but it's interesting that I would love to go to one more of the
Are we going to reach one in the next 5 minutes?
in 5 minutes, yeah. And I hope the rain, you think the rain might stop people from coming out?
Oh no.
Don't think the rain will stop people?
No. We're going to stop one body.
Oh wow. You guys are determined.
Yeah.
But last election, you voted for whom?
No, last election I wasn't here.
You weren't here? Okay. Well, let me let everybody see a little bit more of St. Vincent. So it's a little overcast at the moment. It's a little overcast at the moment, guys. For you. And we're in Glen. We are in Glen. We went to 2 polling stations so far. And we drove through town. Town is very, very quiet. I didn't get to do any lives in town. People were going about their daily business. Some you could tell are voted. You saw the purple paint on their hand, the dye on their hand, on their finger. Others are, their stall might be closed up because they are gone to vote to come back to open up their stalls in the market. But on the road here, generally speaking, very, very, not generally, it's just quiet, very quiet. And until tonight. So I think that tonight, like probably, after 10, right? Or so, the result starts to come in. And the winning, those that believe they're the winners are going to go out into, into town to celebrate, I guess, with their trucks. What's celebration like?
Right, celebrate. Like, let's get truck and come on the road.
They get a truck. So look at these people here in the black and white. So this is what some of the constituents, this is what some of them wear, the workers, they wear, right? So this is a constituency here.
Yeah, this is a polling station.
This is a polling station. Let's see. Oh, down this side. Okay. This one look a little livelier. We're still in Glen?
Yeah, no, in Chalapa now.
Chalaka.
Yeah, Chalapa.
Chalakwa. Another ULP stronghold. And who is the person here? Kamala Sil. Chalako. So we're in Chalako, guys, and this is a Kamala's stronghold. Let's see. Yeah, right. Okay, so where are they going to vote?
By the school.
Oh, the school up here.
Yeah, up there.
Okay, good. So let's go up there. So it's at a school, so we're heading up to the school now, folks. Just giving you a sense of what's happening in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Everybody is. She's
Miss Gibson. No, Miss Gibson. Building is there.
Oh. Oh, this is the NDP.
Yeah.
Oh, that was her.
Yeah.
I could have talked to her, you think?
Oh, no, that's her sister on there.
Oh, that was her. Okay.
I don't think she didn't have it right.
So Gibson Velox, I just saw her sister, and this is the UNDP's office is right there. People are sitting in there. I guess they're mobilizing the votes. they're sitting inside there. People sitting. So I know everybody in there. I know who they would be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we are really focusing on.
I mean, I think you have to walk out.
Okay, so just walk down. Is she all right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to go and walk down, guys. I'm going down.
Down where the school, right? I'll go across.
Okay, so wait there. All right, so we're going to.
Oh, then walk in there.
So that's the UNDP's UDP's office there, and they are people sitting there, and yeah, but you see how quiet everything is, very quiet. The excitement starts tonight after 10. Oh, see the red flags are on this house there. Oh.
Hey.
Hey! So we are waiting to welcome our Prime Minister. We're waiting to welcome our Prime Minister. Let me make a hustle to when the boat come in. The boat on its way in already. So I'm just waiting on our new Prime Minister to put the foot on the ground. Well, don't the boat again we had. Don't the boat again we had. Don't to the boat again we had. Don't to the boat again we had. I want to get us straight off the boat. Morning. Don't worry, soon reaching. The boat are coming out there. Them coming there. They come in. They come in. Hey, what's up? Well, here's the. Here's the man, one of the men of the hour. Here's one of the men of the hour, Mr. Our major. Our major. Our major. In short, it's the only one major, never two. Never two. Well, don't keep the boat on here we have. Afraid hard, man. Come on. Well, let me up the whole of back way. Well, the whole of back way come up. Whole of back way reach. Whole of back way reach. Mr. Cummins, how are you, sir? Well, here's the other man of the hour, Mr. Cummins. The other man of the hour. Of course. Rain not stop me today. I have to watch my Prime Minister come out for the boat. The rain not stop me at all. Rain have to wake me up today. Rain have to wake me up today. Brother! Oh God, boy. Yeah. Brother, easy no man. Listen, the whole of Beckway come on mainland. Whole of Beckway come on.
my prime minister coming out there. My prime minister come out there. No, I'm happy more than me. We know Sylvester, I know you're on the fast ferry. What's up? All well? Yeah, man. You're talking to a couple thousand people, eh? Look, look, look. The people them so happy to see all eh? Look them. Watch out there. Watch out come there. Watch come in there. Watch come in there. Watch coming in there. Brother. Hey, brother. Yeah. You see this lady here? See this lady here? Watch your Facebook. I watch them good. You see the green? Look, the Prime Minister come. Look, the Prime Minister come. Party! Oh, God! The whole night, the whole back here, the whole night. Voilà. I tell you. I tell you. Enough over it. Not he. What's up? Finally, you see the man. I tell you. Hey!
People take all the time, don't rush it in. You guys coming down to don't rush it in. We go meet them on that Thursday and celebrate when. Bloody earth. Just let it happen, just get them time and walk 20 miles. And all you rush to the thing. Let it do some Here's every of this president. And the president. Somebody did so much to touch him. And everybody is we will be there for that birthday and celebrate. Good night. Everybody sit down. Everybody sit down. This spirit is out here. Thank you, Steve. 14-1. Oh, boy. Love it. The whole nation love it. Big up Lagon and the whole team. Lagon King, big up yourself and the whole team. And the whole team. Good night, good night, good night. I didn't.
Hi, good night to the loyal opposition. Good night to everyone. I guess that we're all watching with interest and a feeling of euphoria as we were all here following the elections, like most of our Caribbean neighbors, and watching a result that I think has ignited the imagination of all those other opposition parties around the region against governments who seem invincible, and to recognize that when people are ready for change, nothing can stop them. Nothing at all can stop them from making that change, especially if they feel they have a feeling of oppression that has lasted for so many years. And in this case with St. Vincent, we had a 24-year leadership that they are now celebrating the end of it. Tonight, I'm here filling in a different role. We know that we're glad that Marcia was able to take us to St. Vincent on the ground and share with us these moments that we've been watching for the last few minutes. We have some persons who are supposed to join us tonight to continue and to hold the fort down as she makes her way back to Barbados. And at this time, I want to wish her a safe flight and to thank her very much for bringing live coverage, the action as it happened in St. Vincent over the last 2 days or so. And today it is Friday in the sense of all sense of the word. And if you are satisfied with what has happened and it gives you hope for us here in Barbados, just raise your hand or put up a smiling face. And I see Angel Humble have a yellow smiling face. If you're relieved and satisfied and join with Vincentians around at home and around the world at the result, yes, yellow is the code. That is why the yellow shirt tonight. This victory signals to us that democracy is alive and well, and that we, the people, actually have the power. Good night, Marvel Hunt. Good night. This is what people power is about. This is what we can do as a people. This is the type of message that we can send to our leaders, that we are in truth and in fact the real bosses of our destiny. We place them there for a period of time to look after our needs. And if the time arises, or when that time arises that we are not satisfied, we go to the polls and we display our dissatisfaction by marking an X against that government. And if we are having issues that need to be met, needs that we ask our governments to look after, and they're not doing it, we need to exercise the right. Thousands of people here on the street celebrating what we think that is celebrated as liberation. This is what freedom, expression of your right to vote looks like. And I'm hoping that this will ignite the enthusiasm of those persons who were feeling that there's no hope, that are up against money, and there's so much money going around that you can't fight it. But this is another case where money isn't everything. Money isn't everything. It helps you buy your shirts, it helps you buy your paraphernalia, but it certainly does not guarantee you a victory at the poll based on what we're seeing in St. Vincent tonight. And it's good to see so many young people who are out there on the street as well. As we enjoy the scenes, what does it mean to you? You can put that in chat. What does it mean to you? This what has happened, the result is this. What does it mean to you? Yes, the strong the young people, yes. You have to embrace them. And we know that in Barbados here, we think that the young people are more or less interested in partying and a quick dollar on election day. This is an indication that that was not the case in St. Vincent. Even if they were given, we see what the result is at this point in time. So a change in government of St. Vincent, what does it mean for the rest of the Caribbean as they watch these things? And I know that our neighbors was watching this election with keen interest because the incumbent was seen as invincible and could not have been beaten, or the thought of being beaten was very far from many people's mind. And maybe even after we saw the type of response to the opposition's campaign, people are still kind of uncertain after 24 years what to expect. But as the results came in, hope became reality. The hope of an NDP victory became a reality once those results start to roll in. And it brings me to the point which says to everybody in Barbados, on the day of election or prior to election, parties may project a sense of confidence, sometimes to the point of being arrogant because of what they may have spent or who they may have and what they've encountered in on election day. But they're not sure. They're still not sure. That is why they go quietly to various polling stations, various campaign houses, and wait because they still have to wait until all votes are counted. And it's only after those votes are counted that you see the type of celebration that we're seeing. They all have to wait. Nobody knows the result until they open all those ballot boxes. So I'm saying that to you that don't mind the pollsters who would have said in some areas of the press that this was too close to call. But I don't know what a 14-1 signifies as too close to call. Yes, yes, Bihoy. Until people put country over the political purse, we will see the same outcome. And I think that you're alluding to the fact that we need to pay attention to the issues. If you are suffering all year round, if you're if you're suffering all year round, why would you decide just for a couple of dollars give away another 5 years of your future? This is Tanisha Ford. This is my personal shirt. Remember, I tend to travel with a lot of Barbados teams out of the country in terms of track and field. So we have a lot of yellow and blue. But tonight, because of I choose to put on yellow to represent what I feel, the power of the people. Yes, Marva. Tonight signifies that we, the people, have the power. And you can see on the faces of these Vincentians the emotion that's associated with this type of victory. Yes, yes, our passwords. But we can't just say that yellow is the code. The Vincentians showed why in the election result why they felt yellow was the code. Yes, it is this. Yes, Jacqueline, it is very depressing because so much was promised to us. I still have videos of speeches and marches with all the promises in the last two elections, which made us feel hopeful. But today, many of us are feeling hopeless, and a lot of people are disappointed. London Bridge has was toppled. I'm saying to all of us, the disappointment and depression can be changed by making our presence felt at the poll. This is a very emotional lady on the screen who's expressing herself, and she had expressed herself not only verbally, but by marking her X next to the name of the candidate and the party that she wanted to lead her and to look after affairs in the next 5 years. I see Heather is coming in. Good night, Heather. Good night, Heather. I see you there, but you seem to be stuck at this point in time. Good night, Heather. Are you here? Hear me? She may have to go and come back in again, Dave. But she seems to be stuck at this point in time. But again, we have to take courage. Those of us in Barbados who want to see change have to take coverage from this. And Adrian Hines is saying he's ready as well, so you can bring him in. We have to take courage from what has happened in St. Vincent and the possibilities that will happen. Good night, Adrian. Paul, you got your yellow and blue.
It's November, my friend. November.
That's the colors. What a way to celebrate on a Friday, you know?
Absolutely. How you doing, Alwyn? So good to see you.
Hi, good to see you too, and thanks for coming in to hold down the fort for Marcia as she comes back, so we're back to Barbados.
Absolutely. I felt compelled to do so because she did a fantastic job.
Yes, she did.
Keeping us informed on the ground. It was really, really, really great of her to do that. I mean,
yes, and Heather is here as well.
Yeah. Hi, Heather.
Hi.
Hi, good night, good night, good night.
Good night.
Good night. We're holding down the fort tonight for Marcia as she gets her way back.
Yeah.
So Adrian came in first, but Heather, I'm going to ask you first. How do you feel and what this victory signifies to you?
I would say that so far, right, from what I have seen, before I even get to me, it seems to be an overwhelming support for Mr. Friday across the Caribbean. I follow the two newspapers in Jamaica. The response there was quite positive.
Yes.
And in Trinidad as well, the feeling was the same. It was the feeling of elation across the entire Caribbean.
So you're saying that across the Caribbean there was a wind, a feeling that this man has been around for
too long.
But that was not the feeling of one of our parties here, because he was sent reinforcements and help.
I did see something about that online.
Yes.
And I thought, based on what the Prime Minister did, that it is quite disingenuous to congratulate Mr. Friday. When you set out to disrupt the electoral process, how can you come in good conscience and congratulate me if it was that person when you did such a thing to prevent me from being elected? It does not it makes absolutely no sense at all. To nobody it should make sense.
Adrian, your turn, and the same question. What do you think it signifies to the rest of the Caribbean?
I join with Heather. I think there's a sense of relief from any number of citizens across CARICOM. I think, without saying it, that a lot of people have grown weary and tired of the Ralph G. bravado, this attitude that he was something more than the average man. And people are tired of it. Yeah, he might have done a lot of great things, and I'm sure he did, but that image, the latter image of him, the last 10 or so years of him, was one it was irritating to me, and I'm sure to a lot of people. And so I think that people, they're happy to see him go. He's an older man. 25 years is a long time. That attitude, that superhuman attitude that he likes to project, people had enough of it. It was time for him to go. And plus, too, the people in St. Vincent really wanted him to go. So, hey, the will of the people.
So, Heather, what do you think about? It took 24 years to move this gentleman, to finally break with him. But we're having, and I saw the number of issues that were highlighted, which are, if you read the issues that were brought to the fore, you will think that you're reading a script written in Barbados. And it's not 24 years. It is about 8 years, 7 years. So how does it take some person 24 years to get to the point where they believe the country and the government is yours? But it seems to be, based on the issues and the concern of persons here, that we are having, in a much shorter space of time, that type of feeling.
I did read an article which highlighted a lot of the problems, a lot of the issues that we're currently facing.
I'm not hearing you.
I'm hearing her.
Right.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
He's
I
frozen.
think her internet is giving a bit of trouble.
Yes, it is.
I can hear you now. Yes, yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah, go ahead.
I can
Right.
see the parallels between St. Vincent and Barbados, and it is quite unfortunate that it took the people 25 years to finally realize that this man does not have their interests at heart. And what I can say is that it is, some people believe in promises. They do.
Yes.
You promise them something and you throw them a little sprat out to keep them, to keep a stronghold on them.
Yeah.
And you keep promising and do not deliver. And they hold on to that promise because they believe you, and they never come to realize until it is too late that you don't have their best interests at heart, that you are in support of a section of the population that they do not fall in. So, but I'm glad that the people in St. Vincent have finally come to their senses, and they voted within their interests. That I can say, and I'm quite happy.
But I would have noticed before it got to Adrian that when I was looking at the results of the last election, I think it was 9-6. But when you look at the total number of votes cast for both parties, the NDP end up with the most votes, but still was the opposition. So you were seeing that there was probably the people of St. Vincent was looking for a change from the previous election, but that did not work out based on the number of votes cast. Well, so Adrian, why would a country or any country give a government or any person 5 terms?
Well, it's an interesting way that you pose the question, because there are a number of things that cause these outcomes, especially in these little islands and the electoral process. So I don't know that it is as correct to say that
right.
The population gave them that, but these were the results. As you highlighted one of the issues where, and I heard 2 people that Marcia interviewed alluded to this fact that the NDP won the popular vote on 2 occasions, but didn't get enough seats.
Yes.
Which that's something that happened in Barbados back in like the 1960s against the Barbados Labour Party, where the Democratic Labour Party won the majority of seats, but they didn't have the popular vote.
Right.
The Labour Party made a big stink about it. And I think that's one of the reasons why the Electoral and Boundaries Commission in Barbados is so adamant that there be some level of equity across the constituencies, so that as much as possible, the first past the post system, which will elect a candidate, will also correspond to that party collectively getting the majority of the seats. But it seems like that doesn't happen in St. Vincent, where it is possible that a party can get the popular vote, but not all the seats, and therefore doesn't form the government. Right. So that's one of the reasons why it took 25 years, right? Yes. It could be other people. I haven't been following NDP politics in St. Vincent for that long. I don't know what the internal workings of the NDP were over that 25-year period. I don't know if there was any internal problems, any weaknesses,
right?
How they're, so those are things that can cause it. But I think, yes, the last one in particular, that last election, there was a discrepancy between the popular vote and the number of seats. Yeah.
Right. I see Dave. Yes.
Can I say something?
Yes.
The previous outcomes on this 25-year process, to me, it speaks a lot about the electoral process that they have in the island. It tells me that something was wrong and it was never corrected, because I don't see for the life of me how for 25 years someone could have been in power and everything was operating as it should. So I don't believe that outcome. So there needs to be electoral change if it was indeed correct. There is a discrepancy in the way how things are run in terms of elections in St. Vincent, and perhaps the Westminster system there needs to be changed to one, even to a Republican a Republican government, one that represents the people, where the people are first, not parties or politicians. So I'm hoping that Mr. Friday will come with some ambitious changes that will put the electoral boundaries and the people on board, make it theirs, not. I think we need to done away with the the entire Westminster system in the Caribbean. It has not benefited, it has not been for the benefit of the people. Parties, yes, but not people. As the gentleman said, it could be first past the post. We have first past the post, but we need proportional representation, because a lot of people, could be, even if they had a lot of parties contesting the election, people would have gone out and garnered support of the people, but it is never reflected in Parliament. And perhaps this is where we need to go. This is where the focus needs to be on upcoming elections in the Caribbean.
Yes, I see a good point. I see on the screen that they've put up a spoof. Some of the spoofs here. We have some videos which are quite funny, and this one, the internet will make you kill yourself with laugh. I can't believe it. I believe somebody was very creative and created this a conversation in the CARICOM PN's chat. Yeah, someone say can't believe it. Philip Pierce, so you did not see that one coming? Kamala, as usual, she's laughing. And his great friend, comrade, what happened? That question is legitimate, because after sending reinforcements, you want to know what happened. And Ralph is saying, me and no. And as soon as Andrew Holdes added Godwin, who is elected, to the chat, my man chucks him out and left. No, we have some creative persons on board.
Oh yeah,
it was very funny. After the videos, I didn't believe that they could have gotten as good as this here. Oh dear. We see our people here. I hope that they have a good hearty welcome back to Barbados. I wonder if they're on the same flight as Marcia. But let's press on. Let's press on tonight. Adrian, we have another election coming up in the Caribbean, St. Lucia. You think that a result like this is a motivator? Either side, will it motivate the opposition to get out there fighting? Would it motivate the incumbent party not to be complacent? What do you think?
Yeah, I think those are good questions, and I'm sure that they've looked at it and gone back and internally at their strategy and see what they can do to for the St. Lucia Labour Party defend their current polling. They're polling very strongly, and also for the Castanet Party to see what they can do to ride on what is a wave in St. Vincent, to see if they can encourage some difference. It might be a heavy road to pull, a heavy hill to pull, because the election is just around the corner.
Right.
But they might be able to, change the polling where, I think it's 64 or something, 64 to 40 in favor of the St. Lucia Labour Party. So they might be able to change that to some extent, but not all the way to
bring them to victory.
Yeah, to bring about another yellow in St. Lucia. I don't think so. But it argues well for the other parties. And I think one of the things that non-red wearing Labour parties throughout CARICOM can do is to inform their population about the intent, or what I think is the intent of the Motley, Scarrett, and now departed Gonzalez intent, where this whole thing about having Labour parties running the governments of CARICOM member states as a way of influencing legislative power in the governments of these individual countries to bring about more unity and speaking as one voice. That is what they're saying, which I think is a very dangerous thing to do, since there is
because you're looking at something like a union
Exactly, and it will sit on top of
And that because
that
because you're
argument.
making the point. Here we are with a yellow, yeah, the yellow is taking over. Yes,
Yeah. So the Treaty of Chaguaramas, which brings
I
which
lost him
form
just now.
CARICOM doesn't have or doesn't allow
You're still there,
for.
Adrian?
Yeah, you're not hearing me. You're not hearing me.
I can hear you, Adrian.
Oh,
No,
okay.
go ahead.
I
Yeah, make a point.
yeah. Yeah, no, I was
Mhm.
saying the Treaty of Chaguaramas allows for individual states to, maintain their sovereignty and have their own um, um, their own foreign policy. Sorry.
Right.
And that has caused problems with CARICOM trying to speak as one voice, as you saw where Mia Motley chastised Jamaica in the first Trump um, presidency when Pompeo, the Secretary of State, wanted to have a meeting with Jamaica and invited guests, and Barbados wasn't invited, and Mia kicked a fuss about that,
Mhm.
and saying that CARICOM should speak as one voice. So I see this whole approach of going beyond the Treaty of Chaguaramas and CARICOM to have this informal parastatal type red federation, as I like to call it, where they can have influence across the governments of the CARICOM member states as a result of them being all Labour parties, so that they can truly speak with one voice, among other things, right? So that's where I see this whole thing is going, where these red parties, Mia and her group, is going to all these countries and trying to influence elections in favor of the Labour parties. So yeah, I think that's a dangerous thing because the intent may be positive for that one regard with regards to speaking as one voice, but you know how power when people get power, what they do,
Yes.
it starts to become corruptible, and I don't think it's a good thing to have that level of influence that is not governed by some officially stated agreement within the Treaty of Chaguaramas, within CARICOM, or somewhere, not something that is behind the scenes where these people are exercising unchecked power.
Okay. Heather, do you have anything to say on what the point that was making?
Yes. I do believe in a vision of having a one Caribbean that stretches from Cuba in the north right down to Tobago and Trinidad and Guyana and everything else in between. I firmly believe in that, or regardless if they speak Spanish or French or whatever, because in the end we face the same issues, all of these territories that are bounded by the Caribbean Sea. However, that being said, there is no rhyme nor reason why we should have one political dictate that is based on corruption and greed in the Caribbean. I don't see a place for that at all. So I am not in favor of these red parties. To me, that is what they represent. They are not for the people, they are for themselves, enriching themselves, come to power, and on false perceptions and beliefs that they gave to the people. And in the end, they turn out to be something completely different. So you cannot build a union, any type of union of member states, based on corruption and greed. It will not work. It must be based on the best interests of the people. So this free movement that these few territories have, technically it is not free and it is not a movement, because what it intends to deliver will not benefit the entire Caribbean people, the people of CARICOM. It only benefits the interests of those leaders who have joined on to this grouping.
But you
And I
hold that.
want to,
Go ahead. You hold that thought a minute quickly, or unless you
okay,
want to finish it. They hold that thought about this free movement because you want to ask a
okay,
question. And I want
okay.
the members who are listening on joining us here tonight, if they are early risers like me, did you hear coverage in the 5 o'clock news from our radio stations? Did you hear coverage or reports of what had happened in St. Vincent in the 6 o'clock news?
No.
And I left on after then, but could you tell me if there was any reports on the Starcom or CBC on the St. Vincent elections? And if you did not hear, why?
I didn't even see it in the newspaper.
If
So
anybody can say that they heard it on the 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock news or any news throughout the day,
I didn't see it in the newspaper.
One thing, I saw a clip.
That's it. So I know that generally during, I was listening to elections for a long time. A clip where?
Oh, I heard a clip I saw a video clip from Nation News on Facebook. And for me, it really looked like it was
okay.
It really looked like it was a clip taken from Marcia Weeks' videos. That's what it looked like to me. So I don't think they had anybody in St. Vincent, but I could be wrong. Yeah. One other thing. CRWD had asked a question about whether we thought any of us thought COVID had anything to do with the swing in St. Vincent, and I did hear a number of people. I want to say I think so because I heard a number of people talked about how they were treated during COVID. You know, all those teachers that got sent home and stuff like that. So that probably did have an impact.
Can we go back a little to your question?
Yes.
You had asked about the St. Lucia elections.
Yes.
Regardless of however people felt about it before, it will be based on this yellow party, red party backdrop. Also, the incumbents will be measured on what they have achieved since they came to power. And if they have not achieved much, it will not be in their favor. And so some people may see this as a movement since what happened in St. Vincent, and it will be a reckoning not based on the 5 year that this government, the St. Lucia government, has been in power, but a reckoning for the Caribbean. So if we get a wave moving to St. Lucia, we can expect more in the Caribbean.
Okay, a good point there. And you mentioned something about free movement. Now that the bosom body of our prime minister has lost the election, what implication does it have for that free movement between the two countries? Do you think that this is something that the new government will continue with, Adrian? Or let me go to Heather first.
I don't think that they should continue with it in the spirit that it is in now. But Mr. Friday would have to make that decision, what he's going to do, because technically what they agreed to was not ratified by the entire length and breadth of CARICOM. This was just a subsection that was moving together. So I think he at least in my opinion, he should have difficulty with it, but I'm going to wait and see what he will do.
Adrian, what do you think?
I think it depends on whether there was any debate on this free movement in the St. Vincent Parliament and what the opposition had to say about it. So that's something that I'll probably have to research at some point to see if there's any information on there that will give us a good idea as to what Prime Minister Friday's cabinet might want to do about it. I think barring that there wasn't really a discussion about it or that he didn't have any say in it, I think in the early days of his administration, his focus is mostly going to be on trying to deliver as much of the promises or address as many of the promises that he made rather than going for something like that. But we'll see.
Yes.
Yeah, it depends. And I'll do the research now and see if I could find anything that could point us in as to what is likely to come out of the pipe with regards to that.
Right. And in addition, he may have difficulty. Remember that this is about movement to getting jobs for younger people. Yes. And he has a lot of young people who are unemployed. So why would he have young people who are unemployed and invite other people to come and get the jobs that he will now be creating for them? That doesn't make any sense. So he may have to, I guess he will have to re-examine it. Yes.
Yes, you're making it because now you see where we think that the government is a continuum, but we see their policies made by person, as you said, subset in favor and supporting each other own agenda, and instead of a collective movement around the Caribbean, where we say to everybody in Caribbean, this is what we in Caribbean is expecting from free movement and how it's going to work, and not just between 2 or 3 governments at this present point in time. We also saw the no government making some promises. How do and we have a situation where we can pick up a manifesto from this present government and see stretches and pages of promises not being fulfilled. How important it is for governments when elected to uphold and to hold to their promises made during elections.
Should I start?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
go
you're
ahead.
researching, yes, you're researching.
I researched the stuff.
Yeah.
To me, right? I don't see the reason why the government should come up with a manifesto, and then don't deliver. To me, it's a fake promise. If you're not gonna do the things that you promise, don't create a manifesto. Just go with the flow. But we have had, well, this present administration in Barbados, they are famous for that. Within the 2 manifestos, I don't know how many things in it have been achieved. So it's as though you come up with a promissory list that are like pie in the sky and say, yeah, let's put this out. This will attract a lot of people. And they do that. You read them. Yeah, they sound good. I am going to vote for the government based on this. 5 years, 1 year passed, nothing happened. 2 years, nothing happened. 3 years. 4th year, they're now scrambling to do something. So you never get anything achieved. And the things that they are trying to achieve now in Barbados are what is based on their agenda, not what they promised the people. We don't have the Republican Constitution, and yet the Prime Minister is talking about making changes to the Parliament, which were not approved of by the
commissions.
The commission.
Yeah.
Things like that.
It's like they're making up things as they go along.
Yes. They're going with the flow, things that suit them.
You know, they had a situation, a word that I use, things are fluid.
Yes,
they use that during COVID. Everything is fluid at this point in time. But you can't treat a constitution as being fluid. And I want you made a point about, but I can tell you when the pressure of the privatization of the
transport board
came down, they were quick to say to us, it was right, it was promised in their manifesto. Remember, that was their defense.
But regardless, that
one thing that we can point
they
to.
know that the poor people in Barbados depend on the. I'm cutting out. Can you hear me?
Go ahead. You go ahead.
You go ahead.
Okay. They know that the poor people in Barbados depend on public transportation. Why touch that? Why touch it? How would people get to work and school and so on? So if you're going to give people promises, it must be promises that the people need.
Yes.
And on reflection, the way I think that a government should go about putting things within their manifesto is to go around and ask the people, what would you like? Don't start from the point where what I want to give you. It should be a bottom-up approach, not top-down. So I am hoping that we see some changes with that in Barbados. Yes, the government can have a broad prospectus of things that they would like to deliver, but some of them must come from the people.
Yes, and not what they should be asking the people what they want, and not what they want to give.
Yes.
Adrian, what about you? In between your research,
what was the question again?
It's about how important are promises in a manifesto after an election, because we saw the opposition NDP who claimed victory promised to do a number of things, especially the issues of jobs, improvement of standard of living, etc., to those people, and that got them elected as well.
Yeah. Well, over the years of my watching and listening to politicians talk, it was true and still to a large effect that a promise is a comfort to a fool with regards to elections and politicians talking in the Caribbean. However, people are remembering. The whole idea of people having short memories is becoming not so true. People are holding true to it. Now, the difference between a manifesto and what you audibly say on the election is stark. People remember what you say, not necessarily what you write, because unfortunately, throughout the Caribbean, we are not known as readers. So a lot of times manifestos are handed out and you go home and they adorn somebody's table, but they're never read and never fully understood. And there's hardly anybody ever going back during the 5-year period of a parliament to say in your manifesto on page 28 XYZ, you haven't implemented it yet. But if you make that promise on the platform, they will tell you about it. So that's the difference between what the NDP did in their manifesto. They made a lot of their promises on their election platform. So they're going to be held to account for those. And I think Dr. Friday understands that. And I think it is a case where those promises that were made on the election platform are in the manifesto as well. So there is a gelling of the
what is written,
the verbal and the written. So that if he does the verbal or the written, he's going, if he gets through it, he will be well within the sphere of being accountable. So we'll see. But promises are still pretty much a comfort for, especially in Barbados. People hear a lot of things and they don't ever follow up. They just still, vote part.
Yes. Go ahead, Emma. Yeah.
I want to go back to something that you mentioned before when we were addressing the issue that CBC and Starcom and the Nation did not, I haven't seen anything in the newspaper, did not adequately, or they did not cover the elections in St. Vincent. I wonder if it was done on purpose, right? And in what the government has failed to realize is that information is flowing freely now.
Yes.
We are not in the 50s or the 60s or the 70s or the 80s. So everybody in Barbados was quite abreast of what is happening in St. Vincent, sorry. So even if the newspapers did not carry a story, people still know, right?
Yes.
So they can't dismiss that. They cannot dismiss what is happening at all.
That is, they're correct, because there was so much interest. There was so much interest in this election around. You could not, every platform, social media platform, you could have seen it, Facebook, Instagram, you can, so to even have a black vote on CBC or Star did not matter. The result was known. Yes, it did not matter. So whether they did it on purpose or not, and if there are the stations which are in support of the ruling party here, then based on what had happened in terms of the reinforcements and how she became so involved in it, I could understand the silent treatment of the results, because it will remind us what attempts were made to influence the outcome of the election, or they will say, and they have a good spin, that they went in and prevented a worse result, and the thing got one seat.
We would never have known if it was not for the internet. We would not have known. Can you hear?
Yes. Okay. I'm reading something here that Al Jazeera reported it. Well, Al Jazeera reported it. That is non-regional. Why is Al Jazeera interested in it? You know who's Al Jazeera?
Yes.
Go ahead, tell us, please.
It is the news from, is it China or India? Which one? China? I think it's China.
China. Yes.
Yeah, I thought it was Arabic in some extent. But they where it was founded has caused concern over the years, but they are a reputable global news organization. They have an entity in the US for that matter. Yeah.
Okay.
The fact that the fact of their founding and the talk surrounding it at the time has cast a pall over it, especially in Western societies. People look at it and they are, but they've been able to sneak into Western society and have reputable organizations. So I wouldn't dismiss them out of hand. I wouldn't.
Okay. So the interest was it was global. It was global interest in this election as well. We have seen some governments express concern about the interference of other governments into domestic affairs, domestic elections. We have that from the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, and especially that person being vocal enough to say is it interfere with CARICOM. Do you think that this result will now halt or bring a halt to what appeared to be happening or about to happen in the rest of the Caribbean? Will it stop them?
Adrian, do you want to go first?
Okay, yeah, I don't know that it would. If people are wedded to a particular approach or a particular strategy, it takes any number of consistent opposition to it for them to rethink it. One instant might not be enough to do it. They might still continue to push, and I think that they will continue to push. I see the removal of Ralph Gonzalez with regards to what Mia Motley would have said during her campaign stop in St. Lucia, where she talked about belonging to a labor movement, and that and within labor movements there are labor parties, and that she runs a labor party, and having labor parties in governments in the CARICOM is a good thing for the region. That's clearly stating that there is something that they are attempting to do with getting labor parties in government. And that speaks to what Kamala Bessasser, Prime Minister of Trinidad, has said can break up CARICOM, because she's running a party that's not a labor party. They wear yellow. Jamaica is not a labor party in the sense of what Maltese trying to do. Right. And here is in St. Lucia supporting a red party and sending BLP operatives into St. Vincent to support another red-wearing Labour Party. So people are seeing things and are wondering, what does this woman and her CARICOM cohorts intend with this red Labour Party thing? But that doesn't include us. How am I now going to, work with her at the regional level, at the CARICOM level? I have to watch what's going on. So I could see why Kamala would now be convinced that she really needs to stay aside and not to get too involved. I can see Andrew Holness also saying, you know what, I love CARICOM. CARICOM is good, but I need to watch Mia Motley because I am not a red Labour Party, right? And Friday may be saying the same thing now. Not only that she sent these people in, I mean, the truth is that Labour parties throughout the region have always supported each other's during elections, but this was so blatant. They didn't have to wear those clothing. And from what I understand, there were already other BLP operatives in St. Vincent, for about 6 months, but nobody knew because apparently they didn't fly in. The ones that came in before this law didn't come in wearing red. So the fact that they're coming in wearing their red is what caused ire, And I think I have to research it again. I don't know that there are other prime ministers that actually went into another country's election and spoke on an election campaign platform. I don't know. Mia Motley might be first. I could be wrong, but I thought what she did was so wrong. What if Chastanet wins, right? How is he now to all of a sudden forget this divisive election rivalry that you came in and tried to convince our citizens against getting me elected? I managed to get elected, and now you want to be my friend? I have a problem with that, and yeah, people will say, well, you should rise above that. But why do it? Why do it to cause that kind of consternation and concern if you're trying to build unity among the heads at CARICOM? So I don't see any upside to what they're attempting to do. I think it is wrong. I think it is wrong I'll finish up here. I think it is wrong for doing it the way they're doing it. because it is divisive, it is partisan. You're talking about only rearing Labour parties when there are potentials for governments to be formed by parties that are not part of this so-called Labour movement. That is the wrong approach. It doesn't lend to unity at all. Go ahead.
If I can add, I don't think that they will stop, but I think they'll become more covert.
Okay. Yes, go ahead.
They're going to do things, but not in the public's eye. And I don't know what things that are left that they will do, but they will not stop. That I can tell you that much. So things that the public cannot see, yes, they will be doing. They could be sabotaging, you never know, but they will not stop. Because remember, they already have their agenda and they want the agenda to go through.
Yes, and now it brings me to the agenda. We heard at the outset of our Prime Minister's ascendancy to the Prime Ministership of Barbados, or election, that her intention was not to go past 2 terms. But we see a particular agenda which says to us, or would, I can assume, would mean that they want to stay in power longer than the 2 terms. So we are seeing a situation where a country had a prime minister for 5 years, but she was working doing the same for an additional 5 years, another term, to move 6 elections. What does that say to us in Barbados? Is that election promise of our speech of only 2 terms and I'm finished? What does that say to us about what now is on our present Prime Minister's mind, based on what we're walking around the Caribbean trying to do?
Well, it tells me that you can't trust what she says. There is like the same difference between night and day, right? And fundamentally, what is required throughout the Caribbean are term limits.
Yes.
For governments, for leaders rather, term limits. Yes. So again, this goes back to the whole Republican process. We can't choose to be Republican in name and Westminster in action. We need one or the other. And since they forged ahead to become Republicans, they should have a Republican constitution, the entire thing, not in parts.
Yes, I think that Barbadians need to understand, because now we had a newspaper announcement by Abrams that the celebration of Republic or the changing of the name is no longer on the cards. But for me, it brings a sense of disquiet, because you have told Barbadians that part of your legacy was to move us from an independent nation and move us beyond the Westminster or what we know, or the Queen as the head, and move us to a Republican status. But you have now decided that celebrating a Republican Day is no longer on the cards because you had some objections to your interference of Independence Day and changing the name. So I'm saying that if that was significant for you, if that move to Republican status was significant for you, and your country people decided not on Independence Day, why not in the same statement announce that this will be the day outside of Independence Day that we will celebrate our Republican status? We have not heard that as yet. So is it really important, Adrian, to them? Does it?
No, it isn't. It isn't. And I'm glad you touched on that. This whole issue of bigging up Republic and now moving back to independence is a good classic example of why Barbadians should never listen to BLP supporters, BLP members of Yard Fowl Inc. A lot of these people came out in support of the government when they wanted to change independence to republic. They were all over the place. writing op-eds in the newspaper and everything, saying yes, republic this, republic that. And now that the government has done a roundabout on it, you can't hear these people. It just shows you that they are just supporting for supporting's sake. There's no conviction. There's no real belief in anything that they say. They're just regurgitating what the government says. And I always tell people, these people have no conviction about anything. You shouldn't listen to them. You know, you shouldn't even argue with them. It's a waste of time. They're just regurgitators of what comes out of Roebuck Street. But I just want to touch on three things that some of the posters were saying. Sandra spoke to a member from the Dominican Parliament speaking on Gonzalez ULP platform. That's true. So again, Red Party supporting each other in elections is not the right thing to do. Not so openly. It's too divisive. Tanisha wrote something that spoke to what you said, Heather, about Motley saying one thing and doing another. And I just want to say, Tanisha, you're right. Being two-faced comes to mind with regards to a lot of things that Motley says. And Carol talked about the way Motley goes about things in the Caribbean is creating enemies. I think that is true. There is a palpable disconnect between Mia Motley and Andrew Holness. It is so evident whenever they're in the same room.
Yes.
If I can add, what I have realized is that the government changes between Republican and Westminster system based on the approach, based on how it fits into their agenda. So if, for example, if there's one thing, and yes, if we are the Westminster system, we can be able to do that, they will do that approach. And if it's something else that is more suited to the Republicans' status, they will cling to that one. But you can't live like that. You can't.
No.
It has to be one. You can't be one today and the next one next week or tomorrow. No. So we must truly insist that we get a Republican, a totally new Republican constitution. We must.
So that exercise that we saw in Parliament, where we are getting this piecemeal approach to changes within the Constitution, where you're now talking about the Speaker not being an elected member of the they cannot be piecemeal. You either do it the all.
Exactly.
That
right.
was it. I think that Mr. Thorne, the opposition leader, was making that point the other day in his response, and I'm saying that if it was ever important to them that the same voice that you said is no longer on the cards, which means that you're not going to interfere in Independence Day. If their Republic is important to them, we should have a day set aside to celebrate Republican status. But they cannot get the Constitution, although they had several commissions in place together to put it together. So we are at a standstill. We are no wiser now where we are when we first began. And they always come up with emotional points for emotional discussion to take our attention away from what should be really discussed. So Adrian, where do we go from here as a Barbadian people, as persons on the opposition, as the opposition look at the results of in St. Vincent? What lessons do we have for ourselves?
I'll start with the fact that the NDP, again, I don't know the full story of what led to the 25-year. Is part of it that we understand with regards to how elections, popular vote versus the first past the post winning the seats.
I just want to bring attention. I just want to bring attention because the last big result in the St. Vincent elections was the NDP winning 15-0. They won election already 15-0. So this 14-1 is not.
Oh, that's true. That's right. That's right. There was a time when they, there was a one-party government.
Yes. Go ahead. Yes.
Yeah. So there are a number of things that the the DLP and other opposition parties in Barbados have to attend to and understand from this. We can get all excited and think that this is going to happen in Barbados. There's nothing that shows that this will happen in the next election. And we must be cognizant of the fact that this is 24 to 25 years in the making in St. Vincent. And one of the things is, what was the NDP doing at that time with regards to what the DLP is or isn't doing now? One of the things that seems to jump out at me, it seems like Friday was there for a long time, and there was this consistency in the party, being a party, being, having all these structures in place and not having turmoil, whatever. And that's something that the DLP has to address to try to maintain some level of normalcy throughout the period, to rebuild that image of being a serious party, which I think has been damaged, right? So they have to do that, and they have to continue to keep the people in their confidence. I think that is the distinguishing thing between for the Jamaica Labour Party and the UNC in Trinidad, and why they won. They spoke to the people. Right. And this is what happened to the NDP. The NDP felt more aligned with the NDC. And I mean, with Marcia going through St. Vincent, everybody was saying that man too arrogant. He full himself. He's a dictator, and all of that is coming from a man who was disconnected from the people. I'm telling you, I believe that the NDP could have won this election even without making promises. I don't think the people were that interested in his promises. They were more interested in getting rid of Ralph Gonsalves. And that's why I always say in Barbados that we need to return to keeping our focus on the government, the people who have the power to legislate, because legislation affects us. Yes. Right? That's what affects us. Our opposition doesn't affect us. And that's why you find all of these people trying to change the narrative to have us focus on the opposition. What are you going to do for us when we get in? We've never had to deal with that. We've never had to deal with that. Our focus has always been on, if you are the government, when election time comes around, and I take out my pencil, as the people in St. Vincent said, when I take out my pencil and I'm going to mark, I'm going to ask the question, did you do the work? Just like in school. And if you did the work, I can give you a pass and mark. But if you didn't do the work, you get in an X. You get in an X, not an X, my vote, I kicking you out. We need to return to that. If you do good as the government, you get back in. If you do bad, we kicking you out. That is Throw out. I don't care who coming in, because when they kick you out, obviously somebody's going to come in, and the same process is going to be over and over. When you in, do right by me, or I'm going to kick you to the curb. And I'm telling you, there's a maliciousness among those individuals who are pushing this narrative that we all of a sudden as Barbadians have to focus on the opposition. Yes. We've never done that before. No. And every one of these people who are doing that, their personal bio and relationships all speaks to keeping this government, this Barbados Labour Party government, in power. They're not going to tell you that. You have to do the research. Every one of them that speaks to this issue of looking at the Democratic Labour Party out of power as to why you would want to change Barbados Labour Party. That needless complexity and confusion. No, we don't need that. We don't need that. You in, do right, and you will stay in. You in, do wrong, and you're gone. End of story. And the Democratic Labour Party needs to do that. Every time people try to focus on them, laugh it off. And just don't even answer the question about what you're going to do when you get in. You do that during elections. Focus on what they are not doing, and lead the people towards that. If these people do X, Y, Z, this is the reason why you can't make ends meet in the supermarket. This is the reason why you have to wait 3 and 4 hours for a bus going to Ruby St. Philip, right? Because they who have the power and the public purse are not doing what they are supposed to doing. Now, if you want that to change, ask them to change it. And if they don't change it, use your X to get them out. Don't reward it. Don't reward it. Stop asking the opposition what they can do when they come in. It makes no sense, because anybody can say anything, right? Anybody can say. As a matter of fact, that is the problem that we are in today. We listen to the opposition in 2018. They can do all this fancy thing, and now look at what they're getting and look at what they do. Look at what they do. Don't listen to people when they're out of politics. Watch the people who are in, and you mark them if they're not doing right by you. We can learn a lot from them fellas, them people in St. Vincent. They have it. The man said it very clearly. When Parliament is not in session, meaning when Parliament is prorogued on this election, the man says we are now in charge. This is when we are going to use our pencil and we're going to mark heavily, right? And that's what we need to do. The government, what have you done with your charge for 5 years? Did you do this right by me? No. Did you do this right by me? No. Do you do this right by me? No. When I go in the booth, you cannot get my eggs. End of story. End of story. Anyway, go ahead.
End of story. Go ahead, Heather. Heather, go ahead. Yes.
I do agree with what Adrian said, that the people must hold the government's feet to fire and not to be swayed by those persons who want to focus on the opposition. And in particular, there are things that the government are doing, like, for example, the Constitution, that they should not do on their own. And I think that the people of Barbados must demonstrate that this is not the way that it should be done. We must be included in the process.
Yes.
It's only if they insist that the government will stop, because otherwise Miss Motley is going to get up between now and whenever she called the next election and to try to put some changes into the present Westminster Constitution, which should be meant for a Republican Constitution. So I think that the people have to make insistencies on the government as well as judge them based on what they do.
Okay. And I want to go back to what Adrian was saying. And I want the persons who are sitting here and listening to us and still on the fence, and we're talking about stewardship. What have you done? And they keep getting you to focus on what is happening in opposition parties. Did the opposition party come up with the law? Did the opposition come up with the punitive charges against Airbnb? Did the opposition now decide that they're going to sell the transport board, which is going to put a lot of pressure on the masses of people in Barbados who do the transport board? So why are you focusing? Why are you getting caught up with that narrative of what the opposition party or parties are saying, or what they did not do? They are not making any decisions about the cost of living, about taxes that are affecting your life. So you have to make the decision on the stewardship of the government. If you're not satisfied, as Adrian said, kick them to the curb. It is about your stewardship. So therefore, we have to return to the point of all elections that you vote out a government. Not
That's
voting.
right.
You don't vote in opposite, you vote a government. So Adrian, you've made a very good point tonight, and I hope it is resonated with those persons who are around, that what we are doing in Barbados is, our list is reverse psychology. They know that they can't win an election fighting the issues. So therefore, you would hear moderators trying to bamboozle opposition leaders as to what you're going to do. What are your plans? Instead of questioning the government who are making those decisions. Why are you doing it? So the question is not for the opposition. The question is for those persons who are now charged with making decisions that are affecting our lives. So we can learn a lot. So I'm the audience. You can write in the comment section, what impact do you think the vibrant response of Vincentians will have on Barbadians? Will it wake us up to the fact that it is a government on trial at elections and not the opposition? Will it wake us up to that fact? And if it wake you up to that fact, what are your intentions for the next election?
That's right. The question when they're asked, when I ask you as a non-BLP supporter, what is your opposition going to do? Don't even listen to that. Don't even respond to that. Respond with what is your government doing? You know, throw it back in their face and have them defend their stewardship now. No, we're going down that road of looking at somebody that doesn't have the power or access to the public purse, talking about what they woulda, shoulda, coulda do. We ain't interested in that. You got it now, and you have the charge and the responsibility with 30 seats, 29 seats, or whatever to do it. Why aren't you doing it? That's where it's got. I always push it back in your faces. Don't entertain it.
Yes.
Another one of the things they do too is like
the mere fact that the Vincentians, as we saw it, they were annoyed. They said a lot about Ralph Gonzalez. His stewardship was on trial, not Godwin's. Ralph's stewardship was on trial, and the people voted on the stewardship of Ralph Gonzalez and not the opposition.
Yeah. Yeah. Peter Wickham said as much. Peter Wickham said this was all about this, and I generally don't listen to him, but he made a lot of sense during the election. He said, yeah, this had nothing to do with the NDP. He said pretty much the NDP didn't even have to make any promises. This was a referendum on Ralph Gonzalez.
Right.
It was a referendum on him, not even on the other people in the ULP. It was a referendum on Ralph. People did this to get rid of Ralph Gonzalez.
Yeah, his stewardship was on
him. Yeah.
Yes. So Heather, you think that Barbadians would have learned or would have taken the result as something that they can sleep on and influence their participation in elections? After we were saw it all about the thousands that turned up at these massive rallies.
I really hope so. That because remember the voter turnout in Barbados was 30% in the last general election.
It was just over 42.
Just over 42%. Okay.
Yes.
So I am hoping that it will inspire the people in Barbados to turn out and vote whenever the election is called. And as we said, it has to be a referendum on government's performance, because technically the majority of people in Barbados are from the lower classes, and the quality of lives that they now live are worse off than when the Democratic Labour Party was in power. And that's something that we must bring to the forefront. And so again, Miss Motley's stewardship has to be on trial. It has to be
absolutely
committed in their faces every time they make comment.
Yes,
because the government has been an abject failure. I can't look to one thing that has positively impacted the lives of Barbadians. I can't find it.
I'm hoping that those persons with cars know that on Monday that they must obey the regulations of the tint of the car must know. You must be able to see. And I saw, and it's strange, Adrian, that a night this week I happened to be watching CBC, and they were highlighting some surveillance committee. And then you talk about tint and removing it. And we saw that first it was about getting money, we want money. Then it was police wanted to see what is happening as part of policing. But then we saw in Barbados, at every corner, all poles for stretches of highway, new cameras are being erected by the hundreds. I'm wondering how much is that costing Barbadian taxpayers, because there appears to be setting up a huge surveillance mechanism in Barbados, and that can only be successful if you can see directly into vehicles as they travel along the highways and byways. So we have to understand the agenda of this government and why there's so much need for surveillance, and what agenda are they following. So I want the people to pay attention to what is happening to them. You don't see a camera put up and you say, "Oh, a new camera is there." There's a reason why it's there, and that type of camera mechanism costs thousands of dollars. So they're all over Barbados, every corner. So that's our taxpayers' money has gone into millions have gone into, and I wonder if the government borrowed money or it is being funded by any
The government has
organization.
no money,
So we
so
have
they
to
got to
pay
be
attention to
borrowing.
that. But just a reminder that the law becomes in full effect from the 1st of December.
Do you know that the government did send a consultant?
They have be borrowing.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you know that the government did send a consultant to China some years ago to look and to see how the Chinese were being able to track the movements of their people? So it has taken a few years, but this was done years ago, perhaps 5 years or so ago. And yes, it may be a workable system for them, but I know that the government of Barbados has a problem with maintenance. They don't maintain anything. So they may spend this grand amount of funding on all of these cameras, and 1 or 2 years down the road, if they're still in power, hopefully not, half of them will not be working. Half of them maybe have been removed by the general public and not replaced. This is how the government operates. They don't fix things. They don't.
I can tell you because I can tell you how the edutech and the computer system at schools is working. There are problems. Every end of the term is problems. Every end of the term is problems. We talked about voter apathy earlier, and the question is here: why was the Vincentian youth seem to be so passionate and involved in the last election, unlike our youth who are here? When we see youth turn out to, if you have a brain of artists and you have a youth evening, but in terms of, and I see it also in the States where young people volunteer to go into campaigns, but we're not seeing that here in Barbados. How can we get our youth to recognize that being involved in a political campaign or helping a particular candidate who is identified with some of your passions is worthy of their involvement? How can we get our youth to understand being part of the political system is imperative and important to their future? How can we get that done?
That's a tough one because I find that the Barbadian culture is so subsumed to this fear of reprisal that has been built into our psyche from young. I mean, I grew up, getting licks for any and everything was a big thing. Discipline was so important with corporal punishment. It affects you. You have up to this day as a grown man, I have a certain fear. I mean, I've come a long way in psychologically in getting rid of that.
But you get a lot of licks. You get enough licks.
Oh, I get so much licks, man, over foolishness.
Oh, you have.
I mean, I get so much over foolishness. I remember one time I went to school. I got to school late. I got to school late, and I didn't hear the announcements at the meeting. Just got everybody in the hall and make these announcements. So it was the last day. We usually play ping pong and all these other games. And for this year, for some reason, the headmaster decided nobody playing ping pong. So I get to school late, and I saw these guys playing ping pong. So I did wait for my turn. And he show up and called the 3 to the office. No, I only watching, and I get the most licks. Why they hit our man from there? I swear to God, I grew up seeing. When I become an adult, and if I ever see that man walking, he's straight and he with a big rock. That man unfair me. I had an uncontrolled anger as a result of the unfairness that was exacted to me in school. I had teachers used to beat you with a piece of wood, I mean, violently. So there's a lot of fear built into the Barbadian psyche, even up to this day. Yeah. That's why you see people don't want to get involved. They don't want to rock the boat, which is something that I don't see in St. Vincent. I see people speaking openly
openly
and saying some of the worst things about politicians on
Yes.
video with Marcia.
true.
They don't have the fear like we do. So I wasn't surprised to see the young people in St. Vincent getting up and doing something to help themselves, right? In comparison to adults, let alone young people, stepping away from it, saying they may getting involved. All of them is the same, and some really silly arguments as to why they are no longer going to exercise their franchise in trying to have a say in how things are done, not realizing that those who do, right, continue to get their way, and as a result, nothing changes. I just don't understand it. So there's that big disconnect that we have to address, and it is so entrenched and so deep into our psyche as a result of it having it for so long. I don't know how we're going to pull it back anytime soon. I really don't know. And the sad thing is that a lot of the youth today are angry as a result of all of this beating and punishment and yelling and condescension that we've built into our psyche as the way to raise us up. And they're lashing out. They've literally turned their back on what we consider the norms of society, and they're lashing out in the ways that we're seeing. I see all these youngsters being incarcerated and being taken out of the police vehicles, going into court and flashing these drug signs that somebody wanted to tell me is something about autism, which is just clearly nonsense. These are guys that are in gangs, and they're flashing these gang signs because they're literally saying, screw you, Barbadian society. This is the life that I want to live because you have done nothing for me, right? And we continue to think that lick and lock up is our approach to everything. When somebody don't do right, we are punitive. If they don't do right, ban them. If they don't do right, fire them. If they don't do right, lock them up. And it's not working. It's not working. You see the statistics of all those young people that are incarcerated in Barbados. Those are young adults that at some point are going to come back into society. And what's going to happen? Oh my God, it's just ridiculous.
Well, Heather, what do you think? Yes.
What I see is a deprivation of knowledge for progress and building a society. And I can go back, I think I had mentioned it on this show before. We lack providing knowledge about basic civic institutions and functions in Barbados, and they have had a detrimental effect on the population. So a lot of people the only thing they really know about voting is that you go in a booth on election day and put your X somewhere, but the fundamentals behind it all are running a society and what is required and things like that, they are lacking today. I can remember when I was probably about 10 years old, and they had it from that time I remember, and they had elections. My mother used to take me so that I would listen and hear what the people said. And when I didn't understand what they said, I asked her, and she would try to the best of her ability to tell me what they meant. I don't know how many people take their children to political meetings, who listen to shows like this one, or who listen to the opposition show, or any other political related shows that they have in Barbados. I don't think they do it now. So we need fundamental change. We need to get back to the basics, because only then will we be able to see and explore where our society should go. That's the way how I think about it. And so what it has built a section of the younger population who are so reserved from things political. It's as though they live in a box. Politics is outside the box that they live in. Only when the politicians come around, some politicians rather, when it's vote time for elections, when they come around, they will throw some pickings inside the box. And people who are not politically aware will grasp at these straws that don't mean anything, will not help them to progress in any form or fashion that will last no longer than a snow cone, and they gravitate to that. So we have to find a way to draw the younger people back into the conscious enlightenment of what politics should be able to do for them.
Yes.
Not what the politicians want, what the people need.
Yes, I was just going to make the point that that we need a re-education of our politics. Not only our politics, because we're not only that, but we are also losing the significance of independence within our school because we are not teaching it within our schools.
Right.
I believe that we should have as part of our timetable Barbadian history, which covers our music, our culture, our politics, our art, any area that has an impact on our society, so that our children understand what it is to be Barbadian. Because I go to school today, and you have a reluctance. Back then, everybody wanted to be part of the independence program, but we now have a reluctance. The significance of the loss on children that they don't even come to school when they hear that there's an independence program. I am going to bet you that at some schools, once they knew that there was going to be independence celebration, that if a school has 900 students on a roll, 450 came to school, the others stayed home. So I'm saying that we have to re-educate our children in politics and other areas so that they understand what it meant that persons like our Barrow and those persons who are part of our history. And some of them now believe that politics began with Mia Motley.
Yeah.
And politics is about a big fete, a couple of big meetings down East Coast, and that is politics. When that is over, I have no interest in it. That has to change. And I'm saying that whereas we see on the although we sometimes on the United States can be a pain in the butt sometimes, but you see within their whole network built in, the participation is encouraged into the electoral system by everybody. Get out to vote. They don't tell you what to vote, but they say get out and vote. This is what it's about. So we have to get to that stage. Not we're going to lose that interest. When we don't have that kind of process to elect leaders and people don't participate, then we have chaos, and we get a government we don't need.
Yeah, I was me, I'm always on Facebook, going from post to post, and anything that catches me, I usually write over. Somebody one of the last times had in response to something I wrote, said, "You see, that's why I stay away from politics. It's too divisive." And I asked them, "Do you vote?" And they said, "No, they're done with that." So I think each of us who see a problem with these 60% or so of Barbadians who have removed themselves from the process, that we need to sit down and write out a few talking points of what we can say to individuals to tell them or to make them aware that that approach doesn't help anybody, right? And why they should return. I did that. It's a very short one. I'd like to read it to you guys.
Yes,
right?
Go ahead.
So I wrote, I hear you. Politics does feel divisive, but plenty of that is because we're soaking it. When you sit down in groups where every post is noise, cuss out, and petty back and forth, of course, politics is going to look like nothing but confusion. But the truth is, whether we like politics or not, the decisions still reach us. Jobs, taxes, cost of living, land or access to land, roads, opportunities, the whole thing. So stepping back from the nonsense on social media isn't running from politics. It's about choosing to focus on spaces where people actually are talking and developing solutions to empowerment. Division only grows when sensitive people tap out. Once we leave the field to the loudest and the most negative, they set the tone for everybody. Yes. And I'm not giving them that kind of power over my mind or my country. So purging the unproductive groups, not because we don't care, but because I do. I'd rather use my voice in spaces to build, not pray. There was something else I wrote too, but I think that's it. Let me see. Yeah, but it's to try to demonstrate to people why stepping away from placing your vote doesn't help the situation. That you still have to remain involved, even though you're not seeing tangible results as a result of giving your vote. You can't step away. The people in St. Vincent kept involved for 25 years. I saw Marcia spoke to two ladies today and just said they vote. They don't matter what. They don't like they didn't like the results they were getting for the last 24, 25 years, but they continue to vote because they were hopeful that at some point today would come. And that's what you do. But I think, we are too impatient. We're not focused enough, and we don't really I keep telling people this, the political parties.
That's me, or that's my computer.
No, I think that was you.
Heather?
Yeah.
Okay.
Heather, you can hear me?
Go ahead.
Yes, I can. Yes.
I'm still here.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It looks like I'm frozen now.
Talk. We can hear you.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I don't know what's going on. Yeah, so we're giving these people, because in first past the post systems, right? It doesn't matter to them if there are 8,000 registered voters and only 200 go. They don't care. The idea is to have elections so the globe, the democracies around the world can say, yes, Barbados is still a democracy because look, they have an election. Yeah. They don't go into the details as to that there are 8,000 registered voters and only 200 people participated. They don't care about that. The fact is that you had elections and therefore you're counted as a democracy. And that benefits people like Mayor Motley and them who really don't care, really don't care, as long as they can have an election that guarantees them to win. However that is done, they'll do it. So we need to stay involved, and we need to talk to each other. We need to encourage each other and answer those points. I know it's hard, man. Some people, when they're ready to a point or way of doing things, it's hard to break away, but we still got to prod through. A lot of these people that I talk to, and I'll finish with this, a lot of the people I talk to who have stepped away from politics, because to them politics is a dirty word, and they don't separate out going to vote, to cast their vote as politics, but a part of politics that is not dirty, that they have to do. They just done away with the whole thing. I try to break it down to them that going and you don't have to be involved in party politics. You don't have to wear a t-shirt. You don't have to go to meetings. You don't have to listen or entertain or say anything to anybody that come on election day asking you for a vote. But when the morning come, go and get online and do what you got to do.
Based on the issues. Based
on the issues and based what's important to you and your community and your family, and exercise your franchise, and don't walk away from the whole thing, because when you do that, these people benefit.
They benefit too much. So Heather, there's a question before we advertise this scene it right. There's a question: if our rep don't represent us, what can the people do? And I think a lot of people are at that stage. What do you say to Jacqueline?
To find someone who is willing to represent you, someone who will listen to you and share their views of what the things that you are leaning towards. So you should have a conversation with someone else. If your representative does not show up, find someone who will. That's the only way forward. And quickly, there was something that was mentioned earlier about Miss Motley addressing the St. Lucia in a meeting. What she said in the meeting about her being a Labour Party. Labour parties came out of the trade union movement, right?
Yes.
Which is a movement to support the people within the regions. Remember when we had the riots that were in 1930s?
1937, yes.
Right. The trade union movements were part of that. So they were the representatives of the people. They broadly represented all the people, and they did not wear red. So anybody who claims to be a Labour, well, the trade unions went on to become Labour parties.
Yes.
So anybody who claimed to be wearing red and saying things that don't represent the trade union movement is not a Labour party.
Yes, I agree.
That's another thing that needs to be worked out. The history and the changes that accompanies these parties over their existence, right? That even though the Barbados Labour Party has Labour in its name, what exists today with Motley running it is not a
Not
Labour
a
Party.
Labour Party.
Right?
No
The
way.
remnants of the planter class, which was fused into the Barbados Labour Party, is more representative of what we see today as the Barbados Labour Party. It is a conservative party fronting and faking as a Labour Party. That's what it is.
The color of the people have changed, but it is still the same.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes,
this happened. This happened in the United States. There was a time when the Republican Party was the party for the black people, right? You know, and people change, kept the name, and now things have turned, right? The Democratic Party was the party of the Southern racism, right? And now the Democratic Party is has the more liberal, more democratic entity than the Republicans. So they keep names, but you got to follow the history, the trajectory of who they are today, and not what their name is. There's no labor in terms of workers' unions in today's Barbados Labour Party. She's done a lot to bring that image back by co-opting in the leader of the Barbados Workers Union into her party to give appearances to being a Labour Party, but they're not.
Yes.
To give a fake appearances to being Labour in the sense that my parents would have understood it. They're as conservative as anything I've ever seen. They're certainly not for the people. That's clearly
Certainly, yes.
Yeah. I want to draw the attention to the viewers and the listeners of the scenic bus ride at the Joes River, a celebration of our victory right here for the people of St. Joseph on November 30th, and following on from the euphoria that we have from the election just completed in St. Vincent. I'm hoping that we see more people come out, because this was a fight taken to these people who wanted to close off our beaches and to build a wall and to separate us from getting free access. So this is a significant victory for Barbados and the people of St. Joseph. If we remember and if we recall the Calypso Jack, who wanted us to build on that beach, we will understand what they were fighting against. So we're encouraging as many people to turn up. It says the apartment Independence Square at 9 a.m. The price to get on the bus is $30, and it's a big your picnic basket. We go back to the days where if you bring sandwiches and I bring cake, we switch. That is what it's about. So I'm encouraging everybody to get out there and celebrate this victory that we had in St. Joseph. So Heather, any closing words from you?
I would like to congratulate Mr. Friday, and as I had written on a post, just imagine calling an election on a Thursday and it being won by Friday. Right? I don't remember exactly, but that was it. It was kind of hilarious then. Yeah. But I want to congratulate Mr. Friday. If there are any Vincentians on the program, they're probably still out partying, but regardless, I wanted to congratulate him and his party for a well-deserved win. And I look forward to some positive changes from him in the near future. And also I want the people in Barbados to see what these Vincentians have achieved. They have made changes. So this is something that they can aspire to. So hold on to this. This is a victory for the people.
Yes. Adrian, closing words from you.
For me, it is always using this opportunity to tell people the importance of living in a democracy and exercising their franchise. Regardless to how you feel, even if you don't have a compelling story as to why you want to do it, just go do it and know that you're doing the right thing. Voting is important. When people see the numbers of people voting, right, either they will listen or at some point they will feel. But when you are not voting, 42% people turn up at the polls. These people don't have any reason to listen to you when you start to cry out, call brass tacks, and complain about this, that, and the other, right? Because only 42% of you show up. And that 42% is probably 80% of their supporters who will support them no matter what. So you're going to belly ache to David Ellis and whomever else, and nothing gets done. Is that really, really helpful to you? you have that power. That pencil is so important. Vincentians understood this. Yes. How the importance of that pencil on the day of election, they are in charge. And we give it up. Only to go on broadcast and complain. Complain and don't do anything. Make that X count. Voting is important. Don't only complain, vote.
Vote. And that's
I want to write on something that Adrian said.
Yes.
They complain, right?
Yes.
But we do not have, after we vote, at present, there is no process by which we can get our voices heard in Parliament. So we need to get to a stage where we have proclamations, where that the people can, propositions, where the people can get Parliament to react on changes that they want while they are in Parliament, and have issues attached to ballot boxes, yes, to the ballot, so that we can effect change that will suit the people.
Yes, thank you very much, Heather. And I want to just thank both of you for assisting tonight and holding the fort down. We want to thank all those persons, the faithful members of the opposition who stayed with us during the night. And we certainly want to thank Marcia for keeping us on the ground during the elections and the election coverage, and giving us a feel of being there with the St. Vincent people and the victory that they suffered. And I think we're going to finish with a clip with Marcia.
Before you do, just two things. One had to do with the research I did on whether the NDP had said anything about the agreement between St. Vincent, Barbados, and Dominica with regards to free movement. Friday did speak on that in 2024, and he agrees with it. So there's nothing there that I doubt that they will ever change on it. And one last thing was, I was hoping that the Vincentians would have played Fantastic Friday by Super Blue out of Trinidad, because the chorus goes like this: Friday mash up the place, Friday in front their face, Friday red, white, and black, Friday I am back. So I was hoping that they would have played, but they didn't play. That's a beautiful song, and it would have been great for them to play today.
Yes,
that's it.
Okay, and we finished with a clip. Thank you very much. We finished with a clip with Marcia in St. Vincent.
Wow! How old are you, son?
10.
10. And what's your name? Joshua Richards. And you put up your hand. You wanted to talk. I am impressed. Thoroughly impressed. So tell me what you wanted to say. Whoa, he stands up. Wow, this is the Prime Minister here. Talk, young man.
This is a nice country. You get 20 beaches.
You have a lot of beaches. Yeah, so you love your country.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. And you're in school? Where do you go to school? Yeah, but no school today? Why?
And also you get bamboo seeds.
You get bamboo seeds here? Well, you love your country, young man.
And also, if you catch iguana.
You can catch what?
Iguana.
Iguana? I'm scared of iguana. A manaco? So you eat iguana?
Yes.
Oh, it tastes good? Really? What meat does it taste like? It tastes like chicken. You like it? Oh boy. So let me ask you something. What do you think of all these elections and all of that going on? You know anything about it?
Yeah.
What?
NDP going.
What? NDP? Labor dead? How you listen to the boy to say these things? Say that again. Let me go. The people, what you said?
NDP going. Labor going down.
Labor going down. And why have you said that? Did your parents tell you to say that? But why did you say that? You stood up and you wanted to say that. Why you said that?
Because NDP is best.
NDPs. Okay. You believe that? Oh my God.
I'm talking about trumpet.
Trumpet? What do you mean?
Like
they give away horns and so on. You like that?
And also you are letting me say 20 van and thing going up when it came.
Oh, so you NDP, so that's what, okay.
A little drop of labor. You know, when you see 5 million go through.
Yeah. You only get the, because I thought you all were labor people. You're labor too? You're labor? You're crying. You're labor. You're vexed. You're crying. You're labor. You're not labor because what happened is that I've been trying to speak to the labor people, but nobody wants to talk to me. But you're crying. Why are you crying?
Because I feel victory.
You feel victory, that's why you're crying.
Very go and
But coming back to you.
Them bringing popcorn and white cartel.
And but
and this is bringing emergency column.
all of those people. Okay, so you're like, so but I'm back with this auntie here. This is your auntie here, and auntie is actually crying. It's not. It's a little after 12, but you're crying because you feel a victory. Why is that important to you? Why you would cry over this?
Too much is happening.
Too much is happening.
Poor people crying.
Poor people are crying. So you think that there's going to be a change?
Yep.
And you're going to cry tonight. Wow.
I'm gonna cry.
You want to cry for victory. It's been too long for you. Well, mommy, you're crying too. I see you're crying too. Oh, this is serious for you all. This is serious. This is serious. Okay, you're waiting on the bus. So, mommy, why are you crying? I'm coming back to you. Why are you crying, John? I said praying for you all. Yeah, I said praying for the people of Wow. What does this matter to you so much? You want to see a change. You want a change. Have you both? You've always been a ULP person? You used to be, but not anymore. Wow. But somebody told me this was a ULP stronghold. No.
I'm voting, I never see it.
Things are hard. Wow. Well, the people in Barbados, they say they're praying for you all.
Thank you.
Yes, I pray. I hope it be tears of joy later. Okay? Yes. All the best. Okay? Come, mommy. I feel so bad. I feel it for you all. I pray.